Will these tax hikes associated with both congressional health care bills be enough to cover what the White House wants? Our next guest thinks that's just the beginning.
Dan Mitchell is a senior fellow at the Cato Institute, joining us now from Denver. What do you mean, Dan?
There's no question that this bill is going to cost much more than they're telling us. The history of government forecasting on health care is terrible. When they first did Medicare in the mid-1960s, they said it would cost about $10 billion, $12 billion by 1990. It cost more than $100 billion. Medicaid was just supposed to be a tiny program, and now it's costing taxpayers $280 billion programs. I can guarantee you, if this government-run health care goes through, we can expect to blow a hole in the budget, and the tax increases that are in the bill will just be the beginning. And one thing your average viewer should understand, there aren't enough rich people to pay for big government. So at the end of the day, it's middle-class people who are going to take it in the neck if this budget-busting legislation is approved.
Well, not only that, since most of these tax increases are not indexed for inflation, we have the possibility of another AMT situation, something that was originally meant for just a handful of people that eventually hits about 20 million people.
Yeah, there's no question when the politicians say, oh, it's only the rich that are going to pay. Remember the AMT. You go all the way back to 1969. It was just going after a couple of hundred rich people that supposedly didn't pay any tax because of deductions. And now it's hitting 3 to 4 million. And if it wasn't for the Band-Aids and the patches they did, it would hit 20 million. The same thing's going to happen with this. Why? Because the politicians cannot finance big government just by going after the rich. And besides, when you put in high tax rates, the rich wind up hiding and sheltering their income. You have all these Laffer curve responses. This is going to be a giant deficit increasing piece of legislation, which is why Pelosi and Reid and Obama are talking about saddling middle-class Americans with a giant value-added tax. And boy, once that goes through, we might as well unfurl the white flag because we're going to be a European welfare state.
Well, Dan, let's try and spin this forward. What would be a better solution?
Well, a better solution would be to undo all the government intervention and distortions that have hurt the healthcare market. In the few places of our healthcare system where free markets are allowed to operate, things like laser eye surgery, cosmetic surgery, prices come down every year and quality goes up. It's only because of government-caused third-party payment that has destroyed the free market and the rest of healthcare. That's why prices are rising so much. That's why the market doesn't work. So the idea that more government is going to solve the problems caused by too much government already, that's sort of like saying we should put out a fire by pouring gasoline on it.
Dan Mitchell from the Cato Institute. Dan, thank you very much.